going on, guys, and welcome to this video. Today we're going to take out this cute but powerful guy for some street/city photography. This little thing is Canon's Nifty 50, which means it's a 50mm focal length with a maximum aperture of 1.8. It comes in a tiny little package, but is powerful and affordable and great for a variety of occasions. Today, we're going to take it out for some city/street photography though. Without further ado, let's hop into the video and see what kind of shots we can get with this lens. Alright, so we made it to the first location, which is downtown Richmond, and let's see what we can get. Okay guys, in this section I'm going to come in with a little voiceover to give you guys some insight and talk a little bit about what's going on in my head while I take these shots. So right now I'm just walking around trying to get the creativity going, find some easy compositions and adjust to the lens. So I'm trying out different things and then I realize I'm not going to be able to get a good shot from here. What I end up doing is walking around and using one of those little pillars to frame the shot, and this is the shot that I got. Then I kept going and I saw this building getting hit by some interesting light and took a little shot here. Moving on, I saw these windows and I thought that could make for a really cool composition if there would be something else that would happen in the frame. So I thought maybe I'll wait for somebody to walk by. And sure enough, somebody was coming at that moment. So I lined everything up and waited for the subject to walk through, and I got this shot. So I moved on to this spot with that big door in the distance and the windows leading to it. I tried to frame it up and then a car came into the composition. So I tried to figure out if I can find a different composition, played around with it a little bit, adjusted my position, another car came. Great. All right, so I walk up a little more, see the person coming through the frame, trying to line it up to get a good shot, but it just didn't work out, so I had to move on. That's just how it is sometimes. But as I walked further down the street, I saw a glass door on my right. I looked through it and there was this big couch, and in the background were 5 big windows. So I didn't hesitate and lined it up and got a great shot. So I kept walking, looking for compositions, looking for interesting light, and it took me a while to find another good scenario that I liked. Once I found it, something was missing. Either a person walking through the frame, right where that patch of light was shining through, or a car driving through there. But nobody ended up coming, so I had to keep going. Then I came across this all-black Camaro, so I decided to have some fun and played around with some compositions. First, I tried to use something to frame my shot from a little further away. And then I moved it a little closer for some close-up shots. And I don't know what it is, but there's something about an all-black car that just makes it look so mean. I just couldn't resist. From there, I moved on to an area where I knew I would have some more subjects that I could use. And sure enough, there was a nurse walking right by me. So I took the opportunity, turned around, framed her up, and got this shot. This next scenario is a great example that sometimes things don't really go the way that you want them to, but if you're patient and stick with it, you might get rewarded. And that's exactly what happened here. I walked up the stairs to see if I can frame the lady from up there. Realized, oh no, it doesn't work. So I went back down, looked to my left, and way far into the distance there was a silhouette of a person perfectly aligned in the middle. After this shot, everything slowed down a little bit and got a little harder. There was a lot of construction going on and it was really hard to find a good composition. So this was a desperate try of me trying to find a composition of this building that I thought was interesting, but yeah, that didn't work out. On the other side of the street, I saw this building that had the stairs leading up to the pillars. I thought it was interesting, but I knew something needed to happen. Either a person walking by or a car driving through. So I posted up and waited for a couple of minutes. Alright guys, so found this awesome spot with some really dynamic light, super cool lines. Fortunately, it's not very busy, so nobody's gonna walk through here. Because what I'm gonna do, I'll play the model. Let's see how it works out. So I moved on and I saw this parking garage on the right side and had all these windows. So I tried to frame it out and see if I can get a symmetrical shot. So I was basically on the way to the car and then I saw this beautiful building on my left side and I couldn't resist and took a nice photo of that one. I was ready to cross the street and then I noticed that there was going to be a person walking from the shadow into the sun. So I framed up the scene and I waited for that person to walk through. Alright, so we made it to our second location today. Let's walk around, put you guys in POV, and let's check out the area, see if we can find something in this area to work with. Almost immediately I found this wall that had some interesting light on it, but it's one of those things that would only make a good photo if there would be like a person walking through the frame, which was not going to happen for me today. So I made my way to the Richmond train station and I got this shot using the leaves that were on my right side to frame this shot. So at this point I definitely noticed that everything was slowing down, the light was getting worse, so I thought I'd give it one more shot and walked to the back of the train station. Alright, so second location was a little bit of a bust, but I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes everything goes in your favor and you get one good shot after the next one, and sometimes you gotta work for it. And today was one of those times, at least for the second location. But let's take it back to the studio and I'll share with you how it was to shoot with the Nifty 50 today. Can I recommend it? Yes or no? Alright, so what's good about this lens? Well, as I stated at the beginning, it has a maximum aperture of 1.8, which lets in a ton of light. So if you're in any kind of low light situations, you can keep your ISO pretty low and still have a good shutter speed to get sharp images. I can definitely see why a lot of photographers like this 50mm focal length. I think the photos that you get with this are very relatable because it's kind of like the focal length that you can compare to the human field of vision. So another good thing, which could also be a negative thing, is that this is a fixed focal length, which means you can zoom, you only have 50mm to work with. So it means if you want to zoom, you gotta use your feet. You gotta get closer to the subject, back up. That's kind of like how you find the composition that way, which in my opinion is actually a really good thing because it challenges you, and what challenges you improves you. And who doesn't want to improve and become a better photographer? And I think the biggest factor and pro for this lens is that it's super inexpensive if you compare it to other lenses. Alright, let's talk about some things that might be more on the negative side about this. Let's talk about build quality. You're not going to get the best and highest quality of the material on here, which is okay because it's only $200. What's really cool about it is that it does have a metal mount, and this metal mount is going to give you a good and solid connection to your camera, and it's most likely will not chip off or break or anything. While I was out shooting, I did notice from time to time that it was focusing a little on the slower side. I did not miss any shot because of that, but it is something to keep in mind. But it's not a deal breaker, at least not for me. I'm gonna use it for a lot of occasions. If it's portraits, if it's at night, this thing comes in super handy, and I'll definitely have this in my camera bag everywhere I go. If you like this video or you learned something along the way, it would be awesome if you could give it a like, maybe even subscribe, maybe even hit the notification bell. Do it, don't do it, I'm not gonna judge you, but I would love to have you on the team. I will see you in the next one.